Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to another live session. Today is October 9th, 2020. Happy Friday. Hope you guys had a good trading week. This is Thanksgiving weekend's coming up, so I know everyone's dying to be with their families. And what a great way to end the week than in some profit, right? So if you're new to today's session, we'll be going over the trades we took this week. But more importantly, we'll be preparing for next week. A few quick announcements. If you haven't joined our community Discord, which is this right here, a bunch of channels, we have free signals, all of that jazz. It's free to sign up. The link is in the description of the video. So make sure you join. This is the place to be. Another thing is, for every live session we do, and we have at least 2 live sessions a day, one for smart money, often 2 for smart money, and then 1 for price action. We have now introduced daily market summaries in French and Spanish. We're going worldwide. We're making sure we can, confirm to people of different languages, and we do have that in place. So it's coming out really soon, and we are kind of optimizing that process. But this way, if you don't have time to watch the full session, these short, 3 to 10 minute summaries will get everything covered, and it comes in English, French, Spanish. So again, that's gonna be really awesome as well. So if you want to join the Forex trading room, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll be giving away a 50% off coupon code, so you can try out your first month for 50% off. So let's get into this week. So this week we spent much of our time just studying the dollar index because it really wasn't trending until the later part of the week. So what we mean by this is, here's the dollar index in a nutshell. So this was the start of the week where the dollar index broke outside of this range. And we were waiting for the dollar index to clear this low to go further down to take advantage of a weak dollar. But price immediately surged back into this consolidation zone. Once it did that, many people may thought that the dollar index would go up, but instead it reverted back again on us and it sold off. And then finally it blessed us on this Friday morning of breaking this key level and shorting. So all week we were bearish on the US dollar, but this thing did not want to move. We had a prediction of dollar index going all the way down to 92.78 or just 93 flat, but it took its sweet time to get there. So when it does this type of price action, most of the majors and minors tend to suffer because the dollar doesn't have a true direction. So it was a bit unfortunate that on a Friday morning where most people are getting out of trades, that the dollar index starts to go in our favorite direction. But that's how the Forex market is. You can only control what you can, right? So you take a look at some of the majors we're kind of stalking to enter. We wanted to go long for Euro at the start of the week when we came up here. We were waiting for a break to go long, and obviously because the dollar index randomly gained some strength, it sold off. Then over the course of the week, it started to make these lower highs, lower lows, but then all of a sudden this morning, it activated our long idea. So this is the correct idea. This was the correct idea. It was not a good option to go short, and you can see why. Because even after this huge bearish candle, Euro dollar did not go any lower. It completely went back up, right? And so we were waiting for this key break on Monday morning / Tuesday, but it just didn't come around. We even looked at it on Wednesday, and at that point I knew that the dollar wasn't going to give us much. But this Friday morning, price has surged up, and maybe you can take advantage of this on Monday. But I am bullish on the euro simply because the daily time frame dictates that, right? You have on the daily time frame, you have price coming back into this daily zone, and our target is going to be 1.19200. So in today's daily candle, we printed a bullish engulfing candle. That's another clear sign of a bullish momentum. We even had one a couple of days ago. Here's a nice bullish engulfing, but price once again just didn't give us entry. So bit of a rough week where we had the right idea, we were being good traders, but the markets just weren't budging our way. Before I continue on, I'm gonna open up this cold one. Tradition for me. It's a nice cold Coke. Cheers to a Friday. So yeah, next week we'll have a good setup in Euro. Definitely confident that this will go up, mainly because the dollar index is completely melting. Now we know for sure it's going to go down. This week, if you count the daily candles, I mean, this was Friday, this was Thursday, this was Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. We didn't really do much until Friday morning, and so that's kind of a bummer, but now we know that at the very least, we're going down to either 93 or 93.80, and that's going to bring a lot of weakness and a lot of strength in the majors, so that's going to be good for us. Another trade was for pound dollar. We were spotting this like a hawk. Again, we were being disciplined. We were being a sniper in the markets. And all week, we were waiting for, if you look at the daily time frame, we were waiting for price to clear this high at 1.30, and no bueno, right? So here's price came. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And finally, this Friday morning, we were looking to push up above, right? And this long idea will come back into play. And this long idea is just based on the weekly time frame. You can see on the weekly, we do have some pretty significant support here where whenever we come from the bottom, price does pull back and launch. And so that's what we want, right? We came down, we did a fake out to the downside, price pulled back. And if you look at this week's weekly candle, it's a nice bullish hammer, and that tells you that there's a lot of momentum. So because we didn't get entry into these trades, we had to kind of shift our focus into the minors. And the majors usually dictate where the minors go. So some of the minors were choppy, but we were able to get something. So if you look at one of the first trades we took was Euro NZD. Now this trade took forever to play out, but it finally did in our favor, and that's all that matters. So here is a key setup for Euro NZD. And the reason why this trade was great is because look to the left, we have key resistance at this line, right at 1.79600. We have this resistance, this rejection, and then this rejection. And so what we thought was we got this rejection, and price has also came back in this range, and the range is from this high to this low, and that was all we needed. So we entered, and we did spend some time in some slight drawdown, but then finally price went down. And so very simple. Last night we went to, I think, 50 pips to the downside before out of nowhere price did a sharp retrace. So here was our entry up here. Took a few days, but finally we went down as low as 1.77923. So that's roughly 55 pips away. Then all of a sudden price stopped us out at break even for our partial position, and then just melted. And the reason why this melted was because of the weakening dollar index, and therefore NZD got really strong, and that's why we had this movement. So we could have really had this movement happen here in the first time around, but again, when the dollar index is not moving in a correct trend, it will be choppy in the majors, minors, commodities, even crypto. So it's just out of our control, but you have to take what the market gives you, and depending on when you got out, you either got 25, 50, or if you stuck around, you could be getting over 180 pips on this simple move. Now next we had Cad Yen. This was a long idea, and I actually got out a bit early last night. I just tell traders what I'm going to do. This isn't financial advice, but for me personally, I knew I was going to bed, and I just didn't like the price action for Cad Yen, especially since we had CAD unemployment data in the morning. It was a bit risky to hold the trade, so I got out in I think 5 pips of profit right on this pullback. But this morning the CAD data came out very nice. Unemployment dropped from a forecast of 9.8 to 9.0. That is really good. That's a significant drop, and so obviously the Canadian loonie has jumped up quite a bit. So next week this is also a potential setup we can take, because on the daily it looks fairly bullish to me. So this is a trade idea I'll be looking to take. I suggest you go over the weekend, look at these setups yourself, and kind of determine your own bias. But for me personally, I do enjoy this trade, especially with yesterday's bullish hammer closure. That looks good to me. And if you look at the weekly is very nice too, right? We have a nice strong bullish candle, a lot of buyers in here, so we should attempt to clear these highs, and that's what I see for Cad Yen. Next we had for NZD CAD, which was a trade that was also affected by the dollar index. So this was a trade that did hit our stop loss, but roughly, our stop loss was very tight. in this scenario, it was around a 40 pip stop, so it wasn't too big of a loss, but we learned a lot from our losses. And so this was the idea for NZD CAD. We had a head and shoulders pattern. So here's your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder. Here's your neckline. And so price broke the neckline, and we waited for this retrace, and then we entered on that retrace. So price was looking to go lower, but this jumps back up on us, and the very simple reason why is NZD dollar went up. So if you look at NZD dollar, you can see NZD dollar, this move right here, right, completely correlates with what NZD CAD did, right? Completely correlates with what NZD CAD did. And this happened despite the strong CAD data. So if, the CAD should have been strong, so this should have actually facilitated the move. But because the dollar all of a sudden got so weak at the end of the week, NZD USD went to the upside, and the minor will follow the major, right? So the minor will always follow the major, and that's why price went up. And so a bit of a, this came out of left field for us, for me personally, but you just definitely learn that, in the Forex market, you can't predict everything. Some things will come out of nowhere, but we tend to keep our stop losses pretty tight. So this had an R2R of 2.77. So for a 40 pip stop loss, we almost had around 120 pips up for grabs. So that's not bad. But despite this recent rally, the price action still kind of supports a short, as we've been making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So you could make a lower low, but me personally, I think euro, pound dollar, and Cad Yen will be great steps for me to take next week. At this point, I'll take any pair recommendations. So how that works is, if you have any pairs you want me to analyze, or even cryptos, let me know, or any trading related questions, and I'll do my best to help. So there's a bit of a delay between what I say and what kind of comes on the feed. So I'll give you guys 10 seconds to kind of get those pair recommendations. Yeah, long weekend, so it's Thanksgiving Monday. That's gonna be good. Get out the turkeys. Have so many Coke cans around me. All right, so I guess I'll check YouTube and then Discord to see if there's any recommendations. Okay, I see a few on YouTube. Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone. Happy Thanksgiving, Jay. Thank you for that. All right, so YouTube, we have some pairs. Nzd Yen. So Nzd Yen, I don't even have to look at the chart to tell you it's going to be a bullish setup, right? I don't have to tell you. I don't even have to look at the chart. The reason why is because we already know where NZD dollar is going, right? Once you know where NZD dollar is going, you know where everything else is going. So quickly to answer that question, dollar index is looking like it's going to go even lower, right? It's going to go to at least this low, if not this low. I'm more confident about this low. So now that we know that the dollar is going to become weak, we know NZD USD is going to go higher, right? Like it is right now. And based on this, NZD Yen will also go higher. And this may be a good setup to take for me because we know Cad Yen is bullish, and therefore NZD Yen might be as well. And you can see NZD Yen, that upside movement completely replicates what NZD dollar did this morning. So looking at this trade idea, I'm going to remove this consolidation zone. We did something interesting this morning. We cleared these significant highs right here, right? For some reason, price was having a hard time closing above these highs. We tried to go up higher here, but we attempted 2 times to go higher, and we sold off. Price this morning is looking to break that high, right? And you can see, in terms of a long idea, it looks kind of similar to Cad Yen. We can target, for example, can target these highs as an intraday setup. So if you want to just, if I want to take a trade for maybe 1 or 2 days max next week, this is what I can take just from this point up to here. Because this is the next set of highs. You have a triple top. This is a lot of price action that price will be magnetized to go to. So this would be a nice target. And then obviously if we clear this high, then the upside's limitless, right? You can go from here, these highs up here, right? These highs, and then even these highs all the way up here. So either or is fine. I think this is going to be a realistic trade idea for Monday, going into Tuesday, and the 2.31 R2R. So for me, I'm going to wait for a bullish closure on the 4-hour or the daily time frame above 70.350 to confirm my bias, and then I'll head in long, maybe Monday evening or Tuesday. Okay. Someone said gold. So I think gold is probably rocketing to the upside just because of the weaker dollar, and of course it is. So last week we were looking at potential long ideas for gold, and that also became active today. So we were looking for a bullish closure at around 1920, and these candles came very close, but the candle never closed above 1920. This one looks like it will, and so my bias for next week is a bullish gold. Again, when the dollar is weakening, the gold, gold, oil, and even things like silver will take advantage. So here I have an alert for GU. It's Friday, GU. You shouldn't have done this to me. I wish this happened on Tuesday, but GU is pushing up to the upside. Anyways, so gold, I'm bullish. Definitely these highs can be run. In terms of what these are fundamentals. These are fundamentals that are weighing on gold. But in terms of technicals, I think this will push to the upside. So let's say RP wanted to get a long entry here. I mean, this is not bad. 1.8 R2R for gold. It's just tough getting entry after a huge move. So if I were looking to enter long on Monday or Tuesday, I would love a slight pullback and then enter long. So maybe a slight pullback back down to 1910. Look for a bullish engulfing or bullish hammer and then take it back up, right? Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck in some potential drawdown. And if you enter here, I mean, your R2R will be fantastic, right? So if you enter like this, your R2R will now be 3.51, and that's much better. But in terms of simple bias, that's what today's about. We're looking for maybe longs next week for gold. Someone said U.S. oil. I'm going in order, so don't worry, I'll get to everyone in a sec. U.S. oil, so I've been pretty patient with this commodity because I've been bullish, but the only way I'm going to take a trade is if we clear this high we made back in August, right? Until we clear 43.50 per barrel, I will not be looking to take a long. I'm sure price will run this high, and that's fine. I want to see price break above it on the daily time frame. If it does do that, then we can go. Then I can go long with a target of $47 per barrel, then $50 per barrel. This is all based off just the weekly time frame, fundamentals, everything, right? It's just a combination of all of those things. This is what happened when price touched negative, almost negative prices for oil. But you can see we have started an uptrend since then. We've cleared this significant high. And so I'm waiting for our price to break above 43.50 per barrel to start looking at long opportunities. We still have some ways to go, so I'll see if price action improves on Monday. And if it does, then we may have a potential idea for this as well. Someone said Aussie CHF. So Aussie CHF, I'm saying short because last time around when we looked at this pair, I was thinking short as well. Look at the higher time frame, the weekly time frame. Since roughly July 2017, we have started a downtrend, right? A simple downtrend. Here I'll draw a trend line. You can see we're in a simple downtrend since 2017. So almost 3 years, actually 3 years and a few months. We've been in a downtrend, And a few weeks ago, we actually tapped that trend line and had a few rejections down. That's why my bias is short. We've had a few weeks of just indecisiveness with all these doji candles, but I'm just waiting for price to break this significant low right here. Once it does that, I think Aussie CHF will melt out of the sky, in my opinion. This is just what I say, but the reason being is we have some support at 0.65 thousand, and then last time we broke that support, we created a new lower low here, lower low, created a new lower high, and then price just melted. So if we can clear that same lower low in this point in time right here, I do think we can start taking this as a TP, this as a TP, and then this low all the way down as a TP. So I'm bearish on Aussie CHF. This is like a swing trade as it's on the weekly time frame, but it's a 4.34 R2R setup. So you're risking, a crumb to get the whole biscuit in this scenario, and that's usually the best trades to take, especially when the markets are moving so choppy. But you can see on the weekly time frame that we've had some very, very slow weeks for Aussie CHF. We've had maybe 8 straight weeks of price not really doing much. Then a few weeks ago, price woke up, tried to go higher, got a rejection. Now we just need that rejection to come follow through like this, and then we have a nice entry short for this trade setup. So that's what I see for Aussie CHF. Anything else, let me know. Any other pairs, otherwise I'll give out the 50% off coupon code, and hopefully we can see some new faces on Monday's session. Euro CHF, perfect. My fault, Zaid. I thought you said Aussie CHF. It was Euro CHF, so I'll look at Euro CHF really quickly and then end off the session. So Euro CHF, very similar to Aussie CHF, where it's been in a long-term downtrend dating back to April 2018, right? So based on that, we like to trade with the trend. And the other thing was, we've had a few weeks. Let me remove this. We've had multiple weeks, starting in July, where we've had multiple inverted hammers, shooting stars, multiple candles depicting a sell-off. But finally, price broke above. But since it broke above, it hasn't really done much. And so originally we had a short idea planned if we do get a break of just this low. But you can see if you kind of get a box and you just draw it out, for the most part, Aussie CHF has been pretty consolidated. If you look at the weekly time frame, we're used to, these nice clean down moves or these nice clean up moves, but this is just messy price action. Long wicks to the top, long wicks to the bottom. Price isn't really going anywhere. This is not ideal to trade, but our bias still stands. I still think it's going to go short. If you're looking at specific levels, let me clean this up and I'll show you. So let's head over to the daily. Right, on the daily, this is where you have this madness of absolutely crazy, indecisive price action. This may be a scalper's dream, but for an intraday trader, it's a bit of a headache. But you can see the lowest low we've made during this time span is at this level. And if I just put my line there, you'll see that level is at 1.07100. So essentially, I'm waiting for price to close bearish below that level. Okay, and once I do that, I think we should have a sell-off, because right now it has no trend. And so if it does clear this low, we will know that the trend has been determined, and that's a downtrend, and then we can get entry. And then I'll be looking to take profit at 1.06800, 1.06500, and then 1.06200. So that's the idea I see right now. Unless you go to maybe the 4-hour, you can maybe look for scalps within this, but it's just too messy for me to really give a trade. So that's why I'd say wait for the long-term play to come into action and then take advantage that way. Alright, so last call for any pair recommendations or trading related questions. Alright, so cool. So I just want to share something really quickly. So our September results are on our website for our signals. So I'm RP Forex. I do the price action sessions Monday through Friday, and I do it once per day. So if you look at our September results, although the volume has decreased, you can see we've only had 1 and 2 losses in September. Everything else was a winner. 454 pips with 2 losses, and then we had Smart Money or Institute Trader, who teaches institutional concepts, and his results are up, and he also had a great September as well. Again, only 4 losses, 328 pips, and we do this all live, where we break down the setup, what we see, why we see it, and that's the important thing, is you're learning how to trade and not just blindly taking trades, right? So what we do is we show our own opinion. We don't give financial advice. We show what we think is on the charts, and then we put it on you to make sure you do your own analysis. And if you agree, we highly recommend you use risk management, and then that way you learn how to trade, you get confidence in yourself, and it just works out great. So it's not only me and Institute Trader that gives signals. We also have 10 other signal providers, and so this is called the Forex Trading Room. Basically, we offer live sessions, 2 to 3 live sessions a day, and around 10 signal providers. That way you can learn and earn at the same time. So if you're looking to join, we have multiple promotions going on right now, but I guess the most enticing one is probably this one. First 50, this is the coupon code you will use on this webpage. You go to forexlens.com, Forex Trading Room, click Get Started. You fill out this form, you click Next, and you put in this coupon code. This will get you your first month for 50% off. So this will be $73.50 to get all of that content and much more. So that is probably the best deal right now. If you're looking for longer term deals, just message our live chat agent and she'll tell you them and how you can take advantage. So have a great Thanksgiving Monday, everyone. Weekend and technically Monday. If there's any other questions, send them on Discord. Be sure to join. And hopefully I see some new members and new traders in next week's live session. So